A new chapter begins. As you reach 60, it's time to stop engaging with unnecessary drama and focus on your peace. You've spent years pleasing others, but now it's crucial to prioritize your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Choosing peace means setting boundaries, defending your silence, and walking away from negativity. Some may call you selfish or say you've changed, but this is a sign of evolution and clarity. Embracing peace opens doors to the joy you've earned, freeing you from the need to fix everyone and allowing you to live a softer, freer, and more peaceful life. Stop apologizing for choosing peace. Stop apologizing for saying no. Stop apologizing for not attending the event that drains you. Stop apologizing for unfollowing, for unplugging, for walking away. Stop apologizing for choosing peace over performance. Because the older you get, the more you realize silence can be a sanctuary, solitude can be a blessing, and peace is the prize. Let others chase loud, empty validation. Let them stay addicted to the noise. You're not missing out on anything when you're protecting your joy, your calm, your presence. The real glow up after 60 isn't in the mirror. It's in the energy you refuse to sacrifice for chaos. Think of folks like Benjamin Franklin, who in his later years in Philadelphia chose quiet reflection over endless debates. Finding true wisdom in stillness. You can do the same, wherever you are. Perhaps in a peaceful corner of Boston or along the calm shores of the Great Lakes. Somewhere along the way, we were conditioned to believe that dreams have expiration dates, that after a certain age, after the kids are grown, after the career slows down, after the calendar fills with more doctor's appointments than dinner dates, we're supposed to settle, stay still, stay safe, stay small. But that's not the truth. That's a lie dressed in fear. You see, there's something profoundly powerful about being in your 60s. You're not naive anymore. You don't have time to waste pretending. You're not guessing who you are. You know who you are. And that alone gives you permission to rewrite the story if you're brave enough to believe that it's not too late. Stop believing it's too late. It's never too late to reinvent yourself, change directions, or pursue long-held dreams. You are not behind. You are just beginning again with newfound wisdom and strength. Don't let society's view of aging define you. Your best years are those you choose to live fully, expanding for freedom and saying yes to yourself without needing external validation. It's not too late to go back to school, start a business, heal old pains, love more deeply, or forgive past mistakes. Nothing is wasted if you learn from it. The world may glorify youth, but there's immense power in a person who has lived, fallen, and risen again, carrying stories and strength. You are still rising, becoming, and unfolding. There's no cutoff point for purpose as long as you're breathing. You're becoming. Let your desire, curiosity, and courage define your capabilities, not your age. The fire in your soul doesn't retire. This could be your season to speed up in purpose, joy, in truth, becoming fully, unapologetically you. There's a kind of heartbreak that doesn't come from loud goodbyes or dramatic endings. It comes in silence, in the slow fade of people who once called you every day and now only remember you when they need something. It comes in the realization that someone you held close has slowly, steadily let go, and you were the only one still holding on. It's human nature to want to fix things. We hold on because we remember the good, the laughter, the memories. We convince ourselves that maybe if we love a little harder, give a little more, reach out one more time, they'll come back. They'll remember who you were to them. But there comes a time when you have to stop romanticizing potential and start recognizing patterns. You are not responsible for chasing people who choose to walk away. And you are certainly not required to keep a seat at your table for someone who no longer respects the invitation. There's a kind of heartbreak that doesn't come from loud goodbyes or dramatic endings. It comes in silence, in the slow fade of people who once called you every day and now only remember you when they need something. It comes in the realization that someone you held close has slowly, steadily let go, and you are the only one still holding on. It's human nature to want to fix things. We hold on because we remember the good, the laughter, the memories. We convince ourselves that maybe if we love a little harder, give a little more, reach out one more time, they'll come back. They'll remember who you were to them. But there comes a time when you have to stop romanticizing potential and start recognizing patterns. You are not responsible for chasing people who choose to walk away, and you are certainly not required to keep a seat at your table for someone who no longer respects the invitation. Stop holding on to people who let go of you. Letting go isn't giving up, it's a realization. Clinging to those who've emotionally or physically left your life only delays your healing. You can't force someone to value you or nurture one-sided relationships. Love and friendship shouldn't feel like a performance. Sometimes those we lose are lessons, teaching us self-love, how to trust our intuition, and revealing parts of ourselves that need healing. These people might be seasonal or situational, serving as spiritual mirrors before moving on. Stop always texting first, trying to rekindle connections that no longer fit, or explaining your worth to those who never tried to understand. Don't reread messages without follow-up action. People who genuinely want to be in your life will show up, check on you, and make time without being begged, never leaving you to question your value. When someone lets go through distance, silence, or neglect, believe them and let that truth free you. Holding on to those who've already moved on weighs down your heart, leading to self-doubt. The truth is, you were simply too real for someone unprepared. This isn't your burden or fault to fix. Healing begins when you stop chasing closure from those who offered no clarity. You don't need to know why they changed or have a final conversation. Sometimes, unanswered questions are the answer. Your life is an evolving journey, not a museum of memories. Holding space for those who abandon you is like trying to grow a garden in barren soil. Reclaim your energy. Look to those who are present, and stop grieving those who quietly disappeared. You don't owe anyone a permanent place in your heart just because they once made you smile. Some people are meant only to touch your life, not stay in it. When they choose to leave, the most powerful thing is to let them go gracefully, without bitterness or begging. Your worth isn't tied to who chooses you. You are never hard to love. They just weren't equipped to receive your kind of love. Think of Thomas Edison, who in his later years let go of failed partnerships to focus on true connections that fueled his inventions. Your body speaks long before it breaks, long before the diagnosis, the exhaustion, the aching knees, the stiff back, the sleepless nights. It whispers, it nudges, it gives signals, gentle ones, subtle ones, quiet ones. But for years, you were too busy, too distracted, too selfless. You prioritized everyone else, your children, your spouse, your job, your obligations, and somewhere along the way, you stopped listening to your body because survival became more important than self-awareness. But now the noise of the world has quieted. The schedule isn't as packed. The race has slowed. And what remains is you standing face to face with the only place you'll ever truly live, your body. When you reach your 60s, your body doesn't ask anymore. It insists. What you once bounced back from in a day may take weeks now. What you used to ignore for the sake of pushing through becomes a barrier you can no longer step over. This isn't punishment. This is wisdom. It's your body lovingly demanding the care you kept delaying. Stop ignoring your body's whispers. Your body speaks before it breaks, whispering signals of discomfort that you may have ignored for years, prioritizing others. Now in your 60s, your body insists on care. What once took a day to recover from may now take weeks. What you ignored becomes a barrier. This isn't punishment, but wisdom, a loving demand for the care you delayed. Those aches and pains are messages. Stop dismissing discomfort as normal or exhaustion as just aging. Don't silence pain with pills. Ask where it truly comes from. Your body remembers every late night, skipped meal, and broken boundary. It tells the truth through tension, fatigue, and illness. If you don't listen to its whispers, it will scream. Listen to your knees, your digestion, your neck. Your body feels emotional truth before your mind admits it. This isn't about fearing aging, but being awake to it, an opportunity to slow down and understand your body's needs. Maybe it's more water, less sugar, a morning walk, a guilt-free nap, stillness, therapy, or joyful movement. Your body is your home, your partner, carrying you through everything. It never gave up on you, so don't give up on it. Treat it as sacred. Feed it love. Move it with intention. Rest it without shame. Touch it with kindness. Speak to it with gratitude. It doesn't need to look 30. It needs to feel cared for and respected. Many ignore their body's whispers, only to spend later years trying to undo preventable issues. Picture Amelia Earhart, who honored her physical limits while pursuing adventure. There's a quiet kind of exhaustion that comes from constantly seeking validation, and most people don't even realize they're doing it. It starts small. You share a little piece of your dream, hoping someone will say, "Yes, that's a good idea." You change your outfit last minute because someone raised an eyebrow. You silence your truth because you're afraid of making someone else uncomfortable. And over time, you begin to measure your worth by the reactions you get, not by how you feel. After a while, you forget what you actually want because your choices have been filtered through other people's expectations. You dress a certain way, talk a certain way, live a certain way, not because it feeds your spirit, but because it keeps the peace. And peace that requires you to disappear is not peace at all. It's performance. Stop chasing approval. Approval is a slippery thing. You think once you get it, you'll finally feel enough. But it doesn't last because people are inconsistent. Opinions shift like the wind. You can spend your whole life molding yourself into shapes to fit someone else's idea of who you should be and still feel empty. The need for approval often comes from an old wound. Somewhere in your story, someone made you feel like who you were wasn't enough. Instead of healing, you learned to perform, to earn love, to chase applause. You convinced yourself that your value is something to be proven, not something to be owned. But you don't need to explain why you laugh too loud, why you cry when you're moved, why you take time for yourself, why you say no, why you walk away from things that no longer feel aligned. You don't need to keep trimming your personality just to fit into a box that was never meant for you. There's freedom when you stop asking, "Will they like me?" and start asking, "Do I like me?" When you begin to like, trust, and choose yourself, everything changes. You stop watering dead relationships, saying yes when your soul screams no, and fearing silence because you find comfort in your own presence. When you no longer live for approval, you live in truth. It's quieter, doesn't beg or chase, it just is. You walk and speak differently, create with more joy, and love with more freedom. You don't need everyone to agree with you, the crowd to cheer, or to be understood by everyone to know your life is meaningful. Some people will never get you, and that's okay. You weren't born to be universal. You were born to be authentic. Approval is a moving target. You'll exhaust yourself trying to hit it. You will never be consistently validated by inconsistent people. The older you get, the more sacred your energy becomes. You realize you don't have to be liked by everyone to live a meaningful life. Real confidence isn't loud or from being liked. It comes from being whole. Many spend their lives bending and breaking themselves into versions they think the world wants. only to not recognize themselves. Approval might win a moment of acceptance, but authenticity builds a life that feels good to live. Recall how Mark Twain, in his 60s, stopped seeking praise and wrote from his authentic voice, inspiring generations. There's this idea we've been sold that joy is something we have to earn, that we have to wait for the right moment, the perfect timing, the accomplishment, the milestone. So, we keep pushing it down the road like it's a reward we'll collect someday when everything finally feels right. We tell ourselves, I'll enjoy myself after the house is paid off. I'll celebrate once I lose the weight. I'll relax when the grandkids are older. And in doing that, we keep delaying our happiness like it's something we're not quite worthy of yet. But joy doesn't need a reason. It doesn't require a finish line. It doesn't live in the future. Joy is available right now in this moment, right here. Stop postponing joy. Joy doesn't need a reason. It doesn't require a finish line. It doesn't live in the future. Joy is available right now in this moment, right here. It's in the warm cup of tea on a quiet morning, the breeze through the window, your favorite music, your laughter, memories, and freedom. You've spent enough years working hard, sacrificing, and making sure everyone else was okay. You've given until you forgot what it felt like to simply receive moments that are just yours, driven by presence, not productivity. You convinced yourself that taking time to enjoy life was selfish, that slowing down was wasting time, and pleasure was something to feel guilty about. But joy is medicine, healing, and necessary. It belongs to you, especially now. You don't need a reason to light a candle, a birthday for a nice outfit, or a special occasion to watch the sky change color. You don't need permission to smile, laugh, or dance barefoot. Joy lives in the ordinary if you're awake enough to notice. The danger of postponing joy is believing it's optional, but joy makes all the effort worth it. It softens pain, brings light, and reminds you that you're alive. Stop telling yourself you'll be happy when things are perfect, tying your joy to others' actions, or waiting for the storm to pass. Dance in the rain. Joy doesn't wait until you have it all together. It shows up the moment you decide you're allowed to feel it, like Helen Keller, who found joy in simple senses even in her later years in Connecticut, embracing every moment without delay. There's a moment in life when you wake up and realize that the weight you're carrying isn't just on your back. It's in your mind, in your home, in your soul. It's not the years that make you feel heavy. It's the clutter, the emotional baggage you never unpacked, the things you've held on to long after they stopped serving you, the people you kept around out of guilt, the stories you kept replaying in your head like they still belong to your present, the drawers full of old birthday cards, the closets packed with clothes you haven't worn in decades, the kitchen cabinet with mismatched mugs from a life you no longer live. And yet you kept it all. You held on to it like you needed permission to let it go. But the truth is, clutter doesn't just take up space in your home, it occupies space in your spirit. Stop cluttering your life and your heart. Every unnecessary item, toxic memory, and unresolved emotion takes up space where peace, clarity, and joy could flourish. We often hold on to things because we fear facing what they mean: old coats, letters from lost loves, undeleted voicemails, and grudges. And we store so much in our lives and hearts that we believe this weight is part of us. But it's just what we've collected. It's time to clear the path. Let go of physical things that lack meaning, clothes that no longer fit, old paperwork, and outdated ideas of success. You need less stuff, not more storage. More importantly, release emotional clutter, guilt for things not your fault, anger, and old arguments. Let go of unreceived apologies and the closure you thought you needed. You don't have to carry every story or keep every scar visible. Decide what stays and what gets released. Also, let go of people who drain your energy, the need to fix what they broke, and proving your worth to those who never saw it. If it costs your peace, it's too expensive. Clearing clutter is liberation, creating room for what truly matters. space to breathe, think, and simply be without noise and distraction. Let simplicity and stillness find you when life is full of excess. You become numb to essentials and forget what brings peace. Releasing what no longer belongs helps you remember your light, clear, grounded self, not buried under unwanted things and feelings. Your soul desires space to breathe, dream, feel joy without guilt, cry without shame, and rest without explanation. Give yourself that space by letting go. You don't need to be surrounded by everything you've owned to feel secure, nor replay every past event to feel real. You are not the clutter. You are the clarity beneath it all. Think of Henry David Thoreau, who found peace in simplicity at Walden Pond. In this digital age, it's easy to fall into the trap of scrolling through lives that seem perfect. You see your neighbor's vacation photos from Florida or a distant relative's grand home in Texas, and suddenly your cozy living room in Chicago feels lacking. But comparison is the thief of joy. As they say, and after 60, it's time to lock that thief out for good. Stop comparing your life to others. Every life has its unseen struggles, its quiet battles, its hidden pains. What you see is often a highlight reel, not the full story. Stop measuring your journey against someone else's map. Your path through the mountains of Colorado or the streets of San Francisco is uniquely yours, shaped by your own choices and challenges. Embrace the beauty in your story, the wisdom gained from years that no one else can claim. When you let go of comparison, you free yourself to appreciate the simple gifts right in front of you, like a sunset over Lake Michigan or a quiet evening with a good book. True fulfillment comes from within, not from matching another's pace. Deep down, you know there's more to your life than the roles you've played, but doubt can creep in, whispering that your purpose has passed. After 60, it's common to question if you've made your mark. But remember, purpose isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing unfoldment. Stop doubting your purpose. Look at figures like Frederick Douglass, who in his later years in Washington, D.C., continued advocating for justice, proving purpose evolves with time. You might find yours in mentoring grandchildren, volunteering in your community in Atlanta, or pursuing a hobby like gardening in Oregon. Stop doubting and start exploring. Your experiences are your greatest asset, guiding you to new ways to contribute and find meaning. Trust that as long as you're here, your purpose is alive and waiting for you to step into it with confidence. Share in the comments one purpose you're rediscovering today. Conclusion: start living like it's yours. So here you are, wiser, stronger, softer in some places, sharper in others. You've lived through storms that tried to break you, and still you rise. This chapter of your life isn't about holding on. It's about letting go. It's about releasing the noise, the pressure, the weight of expectations that no longer belong to you. You are not running out of time. You are standing in the middle of it with the power to shape how the rest of your story feels. You don't need to do more. You need to feel more, laugh more, breathe more. Protect your energy like it's gold because it is. And remember, happiness is not something you chase at the end of a long road. It's something you create with every step you take from this moment forward. You've earned the right to live your life on your own terms. And now it's time to start living like it's truly yours, embracing the freedom that comes with wisdom. Perhaps draw inspiration from folks like Maya Angelou, who in her later years in North Carolina found profound purpose in writing and sharing stories that healed souls. You've walked paths through places like the bustling streets of New York or the serene fields of Kansas, gathering lessons that now light your way. Let this be the season where you bloom anew, not defined by past regrets, but by present possibilities. If these words have touched you, take a simple action today, perhaps a quiet walk or a call to an old friend. And don't forget to like, Share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more heartfelt guidance. Your journey is far from over. It's just beginning to shine brighter.